The yearbook advertising price sheet is similar to the newspaper ad pricing sheet. For more detail, you can check out the newspaper pricing sheet video. But essentially, there's just one issue of the yearbook, so that's why it's not as complicated. But everything else really falls into place. The CLR down the left axis stands for color, and it just means a color ad. And along the top, we see the sizes of the ads, the 1/9, 2/9, 1/3, 2/3, as well as the actual dimensions that the ads will be, or the likely dimensions the ads will be, depending on what the yearbook staff decides to do with the pages there below. Those are subject to change each year with what the staff decides to do, but it will be proportional to the space that the book is creating. Now we see on each of those there's a price, and for instance the color ad that's 2/9 for the yearbook, 2/9 ad in there would be $133 billed, and if they want to pay that day or the next day, or you're going to go back and pick up the check or cash in a couple days, we can give them the cheaper price for 10% discount, which has already been factored for you at $119.97. Now, just as the newspaper price sheet, anybody who decides to advertise over $200 and are in the gray, well, they get a free yearbook. They get a free newspaper subscription, and they get a free ad on FHNtoday.com. Now, the only difference we see here, a different type of ad that may need a little explaining, is the patron ad over on the far right. Now, some advertisers would like to support the program, and the patron ad is another great way. This patron ad is also another option that members of the community and families could support the program as well. In the yearbook, there will likely be, the size differs each year depending on how many patrons we have, but it's most generally a half page in the yearbook that says, thanks for the continued support from our patrons. And then what it does is it lists everybody who has purchased a patron ad below. So that would be the business name, for example, and the city and state they reside in, or it might be a family member's name. So if Fierce Creative Agency out of St. Charles, Missouri bought a patron ad, we would simply list their name, Fierce Creative Agency, and underneath it, St. Charles, Missouri, and they would be in the list with everyone else. Likewise, if a family bought an ad, we would list their name there as well. For instance, if Lee and Carol Paul purchased an ad, we would write Lee and Carol Paul, St. Charles, Missouri, if they wanted their name and address listed. If families chose to purchase a patron ad, we would list them in the yearbook as well, however they would like to be listed. If Lee and Carol Paul purchased an ad, we would either list Lee and Carol Paul in there, or we would list the Paul family. For people purchasing a patron ad, ask them how they would like their name to appear in the book, and the businesses are the only ones that we put the city and the state along with their name. And that's really the yearbook pricing sheet in a nutshell. If you have more questions, please let me know.